Hello everyone, we're here to talk about a webtoon today, as I've not really planned much of anything, but I've been reading a new one, so I'm going to make a video on it. I started reading it when I was on my road trip last week, so, yeah, I was going to ramble about it. It's called Rebirth. It's a zombie apocalypse style, time travel-y, superpower-y kind of blend. I'm just going to ramble. I've got nothing planned at all. I typically don't, but I'm recording this now because, time is going to be a bit weird for getting stuff recorded in the next couple of days and, well, foreseeable future really, as I try and organize uploading and recording. Mainly is the difficult part, because uploading is not difficult, isn't hard to schedule, it's more when I can record. I'm already off topic, but yeah, I'm going to be trying to find time to record around working, 9 to 5 during the week. But yeah, anyway. Rebirth, it's pretty good. I quite like it. It's, as I said, the zombie apocalypse story with time travel elements, although the time travel is the story term for triggering the events of the thing we're reading. Jesus. And it's not like a recurring time travel thing. It's just, the story is set with the characters having knowledge of the future because they've gone back in time. Well, some of them. We don't quite know how many as of right now. Originally, we were like, oh, it's just this guy, but then very quickly on, we find out that there's very clearly another one, and then another one, like maybe a couple more, and then definitely another, and then some are like, it's us. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see, find out if these characters do or not. Well, I say that the answers might already be apparent. I should specify that I'm about 100 chapters in as of recording this right now, so I'm a little bit of the way through season 2. I can't remember how far through an amount in, just for some context. So yeah, I think the last chapter was 106. So there's that. Oh my god, I've told you fuck all about what I think about it, and here we are. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I quite like it, as I think I said. Jesus Christ, what is this video? Yeah, so overall, I think it's not bad. I think it's pretty decent. I think I'll go at... Yeah, we'll start with one thing I'm a little bit disappointed in, at least so far. And that is this concept we're introduced to of fate, and how, instead of being like a butterfly effect, although that is definitely present, within the story, fate is like a ripple. Drops into water, and what will happen will always happen. You can delay it, but it'll still happen. And that's been iterated on twice. We've had that told to us twice as of where I am, and yet nothing that happened originally from the main character's perspective. I haven't even introduced the characters, whatever. From the main character's perspective, Noah Collins is his name. From Noah's perspective, nothing he knew, nothing that he knew would happen, like bad that he's prevented, has happened yet. There hasn't been this inevitability of it. These things will happen. Fate is absolute. It will happen. You can delay it, but you cannot prevent it. We've not really seen that. We don't have any consequences kind of originating from that concept that we've been introduced to, and that's the only thing I'm a little bit disappointed in. We're 100 chapters in, and well, I'm 100 chapters in, and that hasn't been anything other than just lip service, really. It's like, oh, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's like, it hasn't happened yet, so I don't really feel any weight to that. Kind of, it's not really a threat, but you know what I mean. That's the only thing I'm disappointed on so far. Other than that, I think we're good. Should we talk about the rest of the characters, shouldn't we? Noah Collins, my main character, from which we see the perspective of the story most of the time, although sometimes it does shift perspective every now and then. He's an interesting guy. He's weak-hearted because of his big. He's got a weak constitution. He gets exhausted very, very easily, and he's got to take care of himself pretty carefully, or at least he did. And as long as he doesn't die now, he's fine, because we find out very throughout season 1, where if he's alive by the end of the day, he will be reset to how he was at the start of the apocalypse, so in perfect health. He's got a cheat ability, but it does come at a cost of, at the start of each day, some of his memories from his previous existence before he went back in time will be lost randomly. And that is actually already been relevant of memories that would have been important to events that happened, like when he bumped into another person who has clearly been sent back in time. He should have known who they were, but didn't. and not knowing has kind of caused some issues. At least surface level ones right now, but I might not cause greater ones going forward, especially as more and more memories get lost as time passes. Very interesting to see how that plays out, given you've only got a 2-year time span. But then again, given how the events of the zombie apocalypse are accelerated compared to his previous memories, I think so. Context, if you haven't read it. Noah came back in time from 6 years into the zombie apocalypse. Okay? And now that he's come back, he has 2 years before he'll cease to be, basically. Kind of big spoilers. You should probably read it. But you're watching a video of this, you probably already know this. 2 years. But in those 2 years, well, in the handful of days it has been since the apocalypse started, the original point in time, they're at the point that they would have been, like, 2 years in already, and it's only been a couple of days. So what I'm imagining is that things are accelerating. So the events of those 6 years of how the zombie apocalypse went out are being crammed in 2. I get that. That's kind of my like a little theory on it so far, at least right now. I'll have to read more, and maybe I'll be just completely wrong, or I might be right. I think I am, but everybody does when they don't know the truth. What am I fucking saying? Yeah. So that's a little thing, but yeah, the whole that about him, I'm glad that has come up and been relevant pretty quickly after we were told about it, so that's good to see. But there are also things that he just doesn't know about the other characters who have also come back in time do know about. But it's not because he's lost the memories of it, based on how it's been explained. He just didn't know about it. Like the Black Rain, that's all I'll say if you haven't gotten into Season 2 or haven't read it at all. That every other character that's gone back in time seems to know about. Well, at least 2 of them do. But Noah doesn't, which is weird. I wonder why that is. It'll be very interesting to see how that works out. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of other interesting characters. Probably the most important one to talk about immediately after Noah is Neo, or Neo. Not from The Matrix, although interesting position. Although it's kind of subtly implied that Neo might be partially a villain. He's very, very sus. He's strange, especially from a shot really early on, right when things start kicking off with the apocalypse starting, of him having those eyes that look like the undead's eyes do. And it's kind of implied that he has an ability to control the undead, so what Neo is worrying, to say the least, especially given that one of the other characters that you're introduced that's come back in time, Leng, has it out for Neo. So, I do think Neo might be a little bit of a villain, or at least, maybe not a villain, but very, very integral to zombie apocalypse happening, and how it's playing out. I probably suspect. Following on from there, we've got Neo's mother. Well, I guess calling Neo's father. Yeah. Neo's mother. She's a bitch. She's fucking awful. She's not really redeemable at all. And she's also kind of useless as well. Poor Parrish. Isn't just shit. Moving on. To an actually good female. Lee. She's great. Me and my homie's lovely. She's peak. She's cool. She's Noah's assistant, bodyguard, maid. Yeah. Interesting relationship they have. And it's very, very wholesome. It's very, very sweet. It's not romantic. It's just it's really wholesome. It's just lovely. Really nice to see. I love how the relationship is like playing out and how Lee is becoming more emotional. Really, really nice. I'm loving it. I love that. And she's also really strong. Kind of scary, but she's really strong. Speaking of scary, random character that we don't really know a whole lot about other than their name and random stuff they've done, but their last name is kind of very implicit about, you know, who they might be or who they might be related to, though I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it is related to, well, Lee, I suppose. If you know, you know. The names escape me. Her name is Alex. A-L-I-X. I can't remember her last name. But she's interesting because she's got an aura about her. She doesn't have a power. I should probably talk about people's power, shouldn't I? Nah, you can read it. You'll find out. This is such a bad video. Could you tell I had no idea what I was going to say when I clicked start recording? If you've made it this far, sub, notification bell, like, comment, share. Fuck my life. I don't even know what I'm on about. I'm just ramble. I told you this would be a ramble, so screw it. Yeah. She's interesting. She's got a very imposing, threatening aura about her, but she's also just, so far, just a woman. It's a little bit crazy. But so far she's just a woman, but then her last name is very indicative that there's a lot more going on with her than meets the eye, at least as of right now. Any other important characters? Theo, yes, another person with superpowers. He's, I mean, his brother died. That was a shame. He did kill his brother, who had turned into an undead. But that's a poor guy. But he's not really done a whole lot. He's just more been there as assistants. That's one thing. A lot of the, well, not a lot. I mean, no, actually, yeah, probably a lot. The side characters are kind of just there just to pad out to create this big group. I'm assuming that somewhere we'll get consequences for this, although they'll be more relevant than they have been. But a lot of them have kind of been just there to say the things that need saying without three people saying all the lines. I think the handling some of the, it almost feels right to call them background characters, even though they are named. They are a part of the main group, but it does feel more appropriate to kind of call them background characters. Some of them like don't show up at all, but they're just kind of, their presence is important. I'm imagining for, well, I mean, it's not. I'm imagining that presence is important for the atmosphere of the story, and I'm expecting that as we go on, they will become a bit more relevant. At least I hope they do. Yeah, the superpowers are kind of just there. I'll probably talk about that if we're talking about plot points and story aspects, I suppose. They're just there. They're just, you know, they exist. They're a cool gimmick. I like it. This is neat, I suppose. The zombies themselves, or the undead as they're called, because they aren't conventional zombies as we would call in fiction, but then, you know, there's plenty of fiction with stupid, powerful zombies that are ridiculous, but these are kind of absurd. You know, it's not a case of just sever the head from the body, you have to completely destroy the head, but then as some of them develop, you know, there's, you know, the head isn't actually sort of where the core is, or, and then, you know, they might even, the zombies themselves might even have superpowers, and then zombie animals. It's kind of been foreshadowed that maybe there'll be zombie plants. That's worrying. Yeah, I do like the apocalyptic world, the zombie apocalypse that's been set up, and how the military are handling things, because as we know in zombie apocalypse scenarios, the military don't tend to do things very well, and they're they're doing a very bad job in killing innocents, because of course they would. Yeah, that's expected, I suppose. But yeah, I kind of like the story so far. I'm obviously gonna have to stick with it more. I think there's about 300 chapters if I remember correctly, so I'm about a third of the way through. So there's a hell of a lot more for me to get through to make a more concrete opinion of the story. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video on this in the future. Maybe not. We'll see how things are. But yeah, this has been an absolute fucking train wreck, an absolute shambles of a video. If the things I've said have interested you in reading, there's a whole bunch of characters I've ignored that are pretty cool. Noah's other son, Abel. I'm wondering if that choice of name is going to be relevant, if you know the story of Cain and Abel. What was the girl with the clairvoyance? I don't remember her name, but she's relevant. She's pretty important, kind of, to a degree. Leng and his group, I completely skimmed over. Yeah, go give it a read. If you've got some dead time that you want to kill, you know, it's interesting. The chapters are relatively short as well. Like, it's not going to take you very long to skim through a couple. So yeah, go check it out if it piques your interest. And with that out of the way, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I've taken time for another video. Ta-ta. But now, subscribe. Oh, God, what the hell was that video? Absolute mess.